Well, I remember as a kid, or maybe as a first year, no, let me say as a first year, I'd pass in Bramfontein, Mega Past, and there used to be a salon called Revlon at the left. And I would daydream about how I'd go there for training and be a stylist and come back home and be known for this. And it died a long time ago in Revlon Payana. And now I'm here, I'm like, oh, now we have like a solid business of doing wigs.
Yes.
And I remember there were a lot of my channels that I lost where I'd say, I want to own a salon.
Yes.
I want to, and we're not there, but I'm like, the vision is so clear now. Like the goal is so clear now. So it will always come back.
Yes.
The thing where you were presenting there and now you are here.
And then someone said, are you aware that you're the first
you know?
You are the first podcaster I Slate. I was like, are you for real? You know?
Exactly. And some things are just not meant for other people. Like they're not. Your thing is your thing, and there's a skill and some grace that it comes with. But things will always, what is meant for you will always find its way. It will always. I remember also another thing of mine, and now I'm here. Going to varsity, I'm doing BCom accounting. A lot of my friends are doing education.
Yes.
Almost to an extent that Ekas, when you're doing education, you're not deemed smart. But when I come, I'm like, I'm doing BCom accounting. You think I'm very smart.
Yeah.
Right? And fast forward, I'm here, I lecture. Aren't I a teacher?
You are. You are.
It was, why did I think I'm that girl now? You know, I thought like, I felt special because I was doing something out of the ordinary, you know, and you'd easily say, this one is smart.
Yeah.
Aren't I a teacher now?
You are. So now, how do you balance your business and your studies? And Tina, there's a certain way that we want to see you spokazi, even in your lowest, in your highs, how do you balance all of that, like mentally, physically, all aspects of emotions?
Structures, my love. Structures, routine, habits, you know. And I get a lot of people that ask me, how did you, during my master's, I grooved a lot.
Yes.
I was doing a master's.
Yes, and I asked you that off scene as well.
Monday, the work I put in Monday to Thursday, I was making up for the Friday and Saturday I'm going to drink.
Okay.
Right? And you need to build structures so well that you start doing noba, even if your mind is not there, even if you're not feeling that. Because, I mean, life is like that. Some days you don't feel like that, but because there's this commitment that you've made yourself and your body has gotten used to it, you will do it.
Yes.
I think it's the same discipline even with people that gym or run and stuff.
Yes.
Uyagula, une fever, but they're running because there's this itchiness, right? Yes, exactly. That was the thing with me. I'd gotten so disciplined in my academic life that I knew that there mustn't be a day that passes by without me doing something.
I love that.
And also, you need to understand that not every day I'm going to be the peak of my productivity. Yes. But I'd gotten to understand myself so well that on my lazy day, I knew on my lazy days, I can't focus. That means I can't be reading articles. Let's work on the structure of my thesis. Where are the errors, where things I can easily do with me playing music. But there's days where I'm locked in. Now I'm reading articles and I need to understand, what am I taking? How does this article link to my study? What is this? So you gotta understand with productivity, there's lows and high, but what do you do on your lows? The mistake we do is that on our lows, we just want to chill. But on the lows, do the tasks that don't want you to focus a lot.
I struggle with.
Yeah, do the tasks that don't want you. I struggle
on my lows. There's vanilla 5 days.
Yeah, I no longer have those. Joe, I would be on a straighter and straightening hair and crying because some girl is trolling me online.
Yeah.
And I'm crying because I answered them.
Ish.
And yes, it's cool, but now I hate the traction in my inbox because people think there's now sides.
Yeah.
And I'm dying because I'm not this person. And I can't take back now. People have seen me respond. People have seen me do 1, 2, 3, but I'm not that girl. So I've stooped to their level. And I'm just out here straightening my wigs, but you grow through that. Like now you can't bring me there. Like now I probably laugh. If I get you online, I'll probably laugh and be like, go heal my baby.
It has nothing to do with me. Like
I'd respond. I think I've had 2 occasions where I literally fought with someone online. And you know, Babati's social media has footprint. That is one part of me I wish I can erase. But I've learned, you can't. But I know now you can never bring me to that level. You can say the worst thing about me. I'm never going to answer you. Not online.
Where do you see yourself in 3 years' time?
The most published academic writer,
Yes.
a senior lecture professor
Yes.
at a university. I don't know if it will still be UJ.
Yes.
But also just a specialist in what I do, in auditing,
We cannot shy away from this. Can you please tell me about your academics, please? I know you're modest about them, but it's not for you. Okay?
No, I've learned to own up with, hey, I've paid the price. I've paid the price.
Yes, tell me about them. And Kalogo, UJ recognizes you. Jonga Bagbega Pioneers, then tell me a bit about, not a bit, tell me about
So, yeah. I have a become accounting degree.
Yes.
That is what I did undergrad. I've got a honors in internal auditing.
Yes.
I've got masters now in computer auditing.
Yes.
And I'll be doing my PhD in auditing next year.
Yes.
But yeah, that's what I do. And I'm a lecturer, assistant lecturer at UJ for second years, maybe become accounting. And yeah, I'd like to say now I'm a researcher, because you're forced to, when you're in the space, to write papers and stuff like that. But that's why I'm saying I see myself as someone that is published, but like academic papers. So when you like Google search on a particular topic that has to do with auditing or commerce, I hope like someone was like, they search, they're like, what is what in my article pops?
Yes.
Like, I know her.
Yeah, boy. So now there's this thing, there's a girl. Sekaslethu kumnyama right now, uyazama lokhu uyafeyila, shooting at 2 points, uyazama this, it's failing, uyazama this. What would you say to them?
Firstly, kuzokhanya. Yeah, akubi mnyama always. There has to. So I have a tattoo that's written Liduduma Linette Lidule. Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. So maybe in your season you Duduma, but it's your season. Own it. Let the thunder. Or maybe if you're in your season of it's raining, Liana, but I think one thing about me that now I think I'm also very intentional about is that you have to take the lessons, whatever the season is. There's no way there can be a lesson. Okay. And I think that's maybe where we differ a lot, is because people want to quickly step out of the suffering. But I don't know. I've just grown to enjoy being in the suffering, because I know when I come out of here, the strength that I have, mentally, I'm in a very powerful space, and spiritually, I'm in a very powerful space. So I've learned to really embrace my rough patches. Yes. And I think in hindsight, it has made it very bearable. Yeah. It has made it very bearable to sit in the dark place. Yes. But you gotta have hope for the brighter days, Yeah. You gotta have hope that you will heal. And you have to speak about those days. Even it's pain, but I know it's okay. I think the most important is I know I'm gonna get out of here. Yes. And I think you also need to understand who are you with in that space. And I think for me as a believer, I know that I'm with God, and in my dark spaces, that's where I think I'll be on a high of very listening to the sermons, to scriptures. And I don't know, I just feel like it's something that they'll just be, the scripture will align. Will align with the thing. Yes. I remember there was a season where I wasn't working. My contract, it just ended, but it was like 3 months of me not working. Yeah. And I was doing my wigs, and I didn't really struggle financially. Like, I still had money, but I was so desperate to work, and I didn't want to recognize that chapter where I wasn't working. Yeah. I didn't want to be known that I'm not working at that time. I was kept to myself, and I was listening to a scripture. I don't remember what the scripture was about or the sermon was about, but I just remember stopping Utunga and just crying, and I was so overwhelmed. But like now I look at that and I realize that, when you realize who you're with during that season, and you're hopeful about the future, and you just do the things that you can only do when you're in that season. Yes. That's why I'm saying structures and routine are very important. So if you're someone that routinely pray, I have no choice. I'll pray even tomorrow, even if it's a bad day, I will pray. Yeah. But now that means the only thing I'm holding on to is that prayer. Consistency. Is in that prayer, because I believe in who I'm praying to, and the one that you're praying to will pull through for you. you know.
Like
And that's all you can ever do sometimes. Like just sit, bask in the tears. Ukhale but ungakhali njengomuntu onganathemba. That's my thing. Ungakhali njengomuntu ongakazi uThixo wabamhle empilweni yakho. So me, even when I'm going through the most, I'll say it in my prayers that Nkulunkulu, I've been in situations like this before. I've felt this way before. You know, again. And then it gives me ease during that dark period. But okay, I'm eager to learn the lesson. What is the lesson? Maybe I had to lose the person. Maybe I had to. And sometimes the lessons are not great. I think that's the other thing. Sometimes the lessons are you really confronting yourself and your bad habits. And you know what your bad habits are. But most of the time, guys, a lot of things that hold us back is us. What content are you consuming? Who are you talking to? What are you listening to? You know, it gets to a point, even the songs that you're listening to.
Yeah,
that's why people that come to my space will get me banging on some joyous celebration. Like, I'm like, yeah, I like amapiano. This was like Friday.
Yeah, but this moment.
But this is the moment. Or you get me and I'm listening to. I even listen to podcasts, but quick podcasts that entertain my flesh self. There's podcasts that I listen to because they fulfill my spiritual self. That's important. So I know when I'm in my lows, like I'm a piano, don't even make sense to me. Don't come to me about that, you know. But this is where now I do the things I religiously do. Remember I told you when you started, every time I'm about to do a week, I'll plug on my phone and I'm listening to a sermon. I do that noba andi kosemodini. I will listen in Borele sermon and hit next until I find something that is for me. And I've always just found something that is for me, you know.